Have your friends or your family members ever said that you don't listen to others? Have people at your professional setup said you're not ready to learn new things? If so, there is something missing in your life. Yes, that's ego which is stopping you. I'm going to talk about 8 ways how ego can actually ruin your life. Hi and hello, welcome to Amaze Coffee TV. How too much ego can actually ruin your life. We would have heard a lot of people say that you're someone who don't listen to others. You're someone always think that you're right. Are you someone of that sort? If so, there are a few things you will have to take care of. That isn't a big problem anyway, but what you can do from today is to follow these important things to be able to be successful in both in professional as well as your personal life. Before we get started, make sure that you subscribe to our channel so that you don't miss any important updates. Excellent. Let's understand which are the areas ego can actually play a role. Number one is talent. Yes, people actually keep talking about ego killing your talent. Sometimes ego actually overshadows talent. You won't be able to express what you are best at because when you're egoistic, you lose your character, you lose your temperament, and that's how you are tarnishing your character. Isn't that how you kill your talent? Number two is relationships. Have you ever seen a lot of people end into divorce just because they're egoistic about accepting their mistakes? And this is the biggest reason why the relationships get broken in every walk of life. So, ego can actually touch your relationships. And lastly is happiness. When you know that you're not successful professionally or personally, you lose your happiness in your life. So it's very important that these 3 areas you will have to take care of. Now I'm going to help you with 8 ways how ego can actually ruin your life. Number 1, you start becoming less compassionate. You stop listening to people. Just because you think that you are always right, you will always tend to not listen to people. You will always cut short people's statements or conversations. It isn't going to help you anyway in understanding their perspectives. So that's how you start becoming less compassionate and people won't approach you for any help or support. Number 2, it pushes people away from you. Unless you listen to people's problems or unless you encourage them to speak out their opinions or views, you will definitely not be able to build relationships. You're going to put people away because they know that you aren't a person who is approachable or who can actually empathize with their feelings or emotions. So, ego can actually push people away from you. In fact, you might lose your loved ones. Talk about a relationship that you are in. If you are too egoistic, you're going to push your partner or your boyfriend or your girlfriend away from you just because you don't accept your mistakes, one, and you forget to understand that your partner or the opposite person also has his, her or point of view or perspective on things. So it's very important that you don't become egoistic, which will push people away from you. Number 3, it stops you from growing. Yes, you would have noticed that in a professional setup. There are a lot of talented people who are not able to come up in their life or become successful just because they are too egoistic. I will give you an example of a manager. A manager might handle a team of about 10 plus members, but what's important for a manager to be successful or to be regarded as a manager is he always empathizes. He starts entertaining someone else's perspectives. And once the manager starts doing it, the team members will actually have a great impression on the manager. And that's how the manager can actually grow more and more by recognizing what the team members actually say. This in turn brings the best out of the manager and the manager can become professionally successful. So it's very important that you should not let your ego come in your success path. Number 4, it blocks new people from loving you. Yes. When you're too egoistic, you always keep setting narrow boundaries, which means you are not allowing new people to enter into your zone, that is, to share their opinions or perspectives or experiences about their life. Once you start expanding your boundaries, you will always get an opportunity to understand different experiences or perspectives about it. You will always know that what you think cannot be right at all times because it is based on situations, and you will always have the opportunity to learn more and more. So it's very important that you stop being egoistic from today in order to have new relationships in your life. Number 5. You will get quite busier proving yourself right. Yes, a lot of egoistic people do this. I can give you an example of American President Donald Trump. Donald Trump, though, is a great guy as a person, what he's been doing is too egoistic about his statements. He always makes funny, sometimes controversial statements, but he tries to prove himself right. While he tries to prove himself right, he focuses on less important things and misses out on the prominent things that his government or his people would require in his country. Isn't that a great example of how ego is actually making someone busier just to prove themselves right? So it's very important that you stop becoming egoistic and focus on the actions rather than just trying to prove yourself right and right and right. Number 6. You will force yourself to compete in an unhealthy way. This is another example of how sportsmen behave. If you know, there is a lot of sledging that happens in cricket, and I've seen a lot of Australian cricketers, sometimes English cricketers too, sledge the other cricketers. The cricketers who sledge others are always egoistic. They always want to prove that they are superior than the others. So they force themselves to a situation to compete in an unhealthy way or an unfair way. So this is something that will affect your character. It will always tarnish your personality. So it's very important that you're not egoistic that will force you to compete in an unhealthy way to prove yourself that you are the right person and you are far more superior than anyone else. Number 7. You will never be satisfied with things. Yes, this starts from home. What we do to our spouses is always show dissatisfaction about things or duties that they do. Isn't that an interesting thing? Why does it actually happen? It is because we are too egoistic that we are so perfect about things. We do everything right and we expect the same from our partner. But there is always another eye to things what we do. So we'll have to understand the perspectives of life. Realize that ego actually will lead you to dissatisfaction in everything that happens in your life. So stop becoming egoistic so that you're not dissatisfied with things that happens in your profession or personal life. Number 8. You will stop becoming greedy. Yes, this actually refers to political leaders. What political leaders do, for example, Hitler. Hitler was so egoistic that he wanted to grab every country, every territory in this world, and he wanted to show that he is the most powerful person ever the world has seen. So with that intent, what he did was trying to capture a lot of countries during the World War. Always make sure that you're not egoistic when you are in a powerful position. When you are in a powerful position, you shouldn't be greedy. And if you are greedy, it is always going to assassinate your character, irrespective of your talent or goodness, what you do to the society or to your relationships. Remember, stop being egoistic to make sure that you're not becoming greedy in this world. Now that we have spoken about 8 ways how ego can actually ruin your life, I'm going to end this video with one good example. A great personality in India who is none other than Ratan Tata. Imagine his stature, imagine the knowledge he possesses, how intellectual he is, yet he is very simple in nature. He is down to earth and he is loved by so many people. His talents, his relationships have been absolutely great. He has been one of the most happiest and healthiest person in the world. It's all just out of simplicity. There is no ego in him. So remember, your ego should not stop your talent, spoil your relationships. It should just give you happiness in life. Thanks for watching this video. See you again in the next clip. Cheers.